Good evening. Well, it was only 7 weeks ago that the last football season ended with that European final in Rome. And there's no point in hiding the fact that for some, the new season has come round just a little too quickly. But for many more, today was the start of a new adventure eagerly awaited. And indeed, there was a near-record crowd of 90,000 for the Charity Shield at Wembley. That'll give you some idea. When Liverpool, the winners of the Football League Championship, met West Ham, surprise winners of the FA Cup. Well, West Ham's win only seems like yesterday. You remember when 17-year-old Paul Allen, Wembley's youngest ever finalist, just couldn't hold back the tears after getting his winner's medal. And that surely is one of the season's most emotional moments. Well, here's Paul Allen again in front of the Royal Box just 3 months after it. We've seen those pictures of you crying coming down the steps, Paul. What do you remember of that now?
Well, I can remember, most of it, and, it was just a great day for me, and that, didn't it, at 17, I never expected to be playing at Wembley in the Cup final, and it was just great, I can remember everything. I just hope it's the same today,
And it just got on top of you then, did it?
Well, it did afterwards, I felt like then just, it was just brilliant, the supporters and everybody and that, it was great.
And how does it feel to be back here again now?
Yeah, it feels just as nice, a little bit more nervous this time, enjoying it. But I know what to expect a little bit more this time, so I'm just going to go out and enjoy it. I know, I've got a lot to learn, so this will be a good experience to play against Liverpool.
And you've not played against Liverpool before?
No, this will be my first time to play against Liverpool, so I'm looking forward to it,
Well, from the tender years of Paul Allen to Ray Clements of Liverpool with so much... And 32, I think, this week, Ray.
I'm having no more birthdays after this week, I can assure you. Yes, I've had a little bit more experience than Paul, but today's a tremendous occasion. There's no real pressure on this. The day the two teams can go out and enjoy themselves, I think.
But the gap for you has been so short after Italy, and now, what have you done with the short summer?
Well, in fact, I only had 5 days break because I came back from Italy, and then Phil Neal, David Johnson and myself went out to Oslo in Norway and coached 15-year-old boys for 2 weeks, so that took up our break altogether. So,
do you get the feeling that Liverpool are as formidable as ever?
Watch us this afternoon. Everybody says we're at one headline, the Empire crumbles. Well, the headline's tomorrow, hopefully, with the Empire strikes back.
But now the crowd are ready for the start of this 1980 Charity Shield, and let's hope the football season gets off to a good start. Well, here they are again. Liverpool on the left. A path they know well enough. They've been in 5 of the 7 Charity Shields that have been held at Wembley since 1974. West Ham were here for the Charity Shield in 75 when they were beaten 2-0 by Derby. And what a beautiful day for it. Bob Paisley, the Liverpool manager, on the left. John Lyall on the right. 2 men with a lot to look forward to domestically and in European competition this coming season. And the 2 captains, Phil Thompson on the left for Liverpool, Billy Bonds in West Ham's chain strip of white on the right. A mighty crowd, and the receipts will enable both clubs to take about £50,000 from this game, and charities £300,000. The teams to be presented to the inimitable Joe Mercer, OBE, with that familiar gait of his. On the left, the FA Secretary, Tate Croker, and on the right, Sir Harold Thompson. There's some speculation that Joe so likes to talk about football that we're in danger of not getting this match away tonight. Joe, of course, who never played for Liverpool but played for their great old rivals Everton. One of the happiest and cheeriest of souls in football. Down the West Ham line he goes, with the referees and the linesman at the far end. John Hunting, the referee from Leicestershire. And a chance for the 2 teams to limber up. In fact, they're going to the ends where their supporters are. And a chance for us to check on the two teams for this Charity Shield today. First of all, the Liverpool team, and it speaks for itself, no injuries. And indeed, when I asked the manager, Bob Paisley, for it yesterday, he laughingly said, well, it's the same as last year's Charity Shield team. Nothing seems to change much. And indeed, Bob will be hoping that Liverpool produce that same brilliant performance that beat Arsenal 3-1 in this fixture last season, and straightway, of course, set them on course for the championship. As for West Ham, well, they come without striker Stuart Pearson, who injured a knee in one of the warm-up matches in Scotland. And so the two men up front are going to be David Cross and Jeff Pike. There was a doubt about central defender Alvin Martin, who had a back injury, but the good news for West Ham that he is fit to play. And the surprise is that there's no place in the back four for Frank Lampard. He is one of the substitutes. And I suppose if we're looking for the teams to turn on the style today, which we want above all, then maybe Trevor Brooking, who scored that winner here in May for West Ham, could do something about that. Supported unquestionably by Alan Devonshire in the midfield, who, with young Paul Allen, has just signed a long-term contract at Upton Park. And in midfield, Liverpool, for their part, have Terry McDermott, who scored 2 brilliant goals in this fixture last season, and Graham Souness, who will be as competitive as ever, and who incidentally starts this new season as a married man. He was married 3 weeks ago today, and so far he tells me he's spent only 3 days with his new bride. Well, that's a footballer's life for you. The referee today is John Hunting from Leicestershire. And at the start of the game, the two managers beginning 90 edgy minutes. John Ryle on the left, Bob Paisley on the right. And it's Liverpool in that famous and formidable strip of all red who get us away, attacking the goal to our right. West Ham in the chain strip of white. McDermott, Souness. Liverpool have played 4 warm-up games and have been beaten twice on the continent, in Belgium and in West Germany. West Ham come to this game with 6 warm-up matches under their belts. Pike winning that battle with Phil Neal. Cross finding Brooking and spraying it wide there as Souness very quickly clatters into Brooking there, and John Hunting was right on the spot to award West Ham that free kick. Paul Allen. And now Brush. Didn't get into the FA Cup final side, did Brush, and neither did the number 8 today, Pat Holland. Bonds playing it towards Pike. And in fact, Holland caught fractionally offside. He came back into an onside position, but when that ball was played through to him, he was fractionally offside. Free kick to Liverpool. To Thompson. Thompson, one of the England successes in that European Championship in Italy. And Hansen playing it forward here for Ray Kennedy. Lovely left foot of his, this time looking for Dalglish, and it's Brush who'd gone there with him. Corner though to Liverpool. Phil Thompson up on the far post, and Ray Kennedy is at the near post, being watched by Paul Brush. It's Dalglish's corner, played wide there, and Martin getting it away. Here's Souness again though for Liverpool to Phil Neal. McDermott's made a break down the right. It left a bit of a gap for him, and now here's Case. But again, Brush was strong in the challenge. Souness getting in there. The whistle had gone for a free kick to Liverpool. And West Ham will be glad about that, because at that moment Souness looked very dangerous indeed, and it could even be dangerous now as Souness finds Neal, and that's still in play. Well, West Ham assumed that was going to swing out. Stewart thumping it away into the crowd. Ray Kennedy with Liverpool's throw. It's with Hansen. The West Ham player is back, but McDermott is right in there, and it could come for him just wide. West Ham in terrible disarray there. In fact, there was an infringement. There was a handball by McDermott, and it was certainly a narrow squeak, or it seemed to be, until that whistle went.
Hansen taking it across the penalty area, the little chip in there. McDermott now will burst on the scene, and there must have been a handball there at that moment as he just squirts it wide of the post. Hansen back to Clemens. Hansen, who like Souness, was married in the summer. Martin. Here's Brush. Liverpool captain Phil Thompson, and now Alvin Martin, himself a boy from Bootle who used to support Liverpool as a youngster, the West Ham number 5. Stewart, cross, it's come for Kennedy. Now Souness, good play here by Liverpool, sending Johnson on his way. A lot of pace about David Johnson, but that time Stewart kept with him, but Johnson still got it in. Brush cutting it out though for West Ham. But a good-looking move down Liverpool's left there, and here's Souness again. Curled in this time for Thompson. A lot of red shirts forward now for Liverpool. Look at the space there. It'll come for Souness, but Stewart clashed there with him and just nicked it away. McDermott this time back for Jimmy Case. And no problems there for Phil Thompson, or for Phil Parks. The long-range shooting of Jimmy Case again. It's with Devonshire. Brooking. Devonshire. Brooking's gone forward in danger of being caught offside, but Holland won't be. Almost the first touch of the ball that Pat Holland's had. A little nick through there for Brooking onside. And Pike is in there. Can Pike turn it back? He tried to get it off for cross, and in the end it was Case who put it behind. But that was a good searching break there by West Ham. And Brooking was right in the middle of it. And it's Pike here who not only keeps the ball in play, finds that little cross in there, but it didn't quite reach David Cross, and Case was able to put it over. Brooking with West Ham's corner. Bonds tried to flick a header in, and it might have got to him because it certainly escaped Alan Kennedy. Devonshire, a nice turn. Brooking onto that left foot, which he likes so much, and that's a good-looking cross again towards Pike. And Clemens was not exactly struggling, but he was under pressure there. Pike is a small man, but he really gets up well. Bonds, who's looking after Kenny Dalglish, as you can see right there. There he goes again, Dalglish, and the ball hits Billy Bonds. Pike, Brooking. And Pike's going to be well offside, and Brooking was aware of it, had to hold on to the ball as the Liverpool back four came forward quickly. Case has a nice ball, releasing Phil Neal. Martin's come across there. Case. Thompson. Souness. And David Cross getting that one, finding Jeff Pike. Kennedy. Played on for Dalglish. Bonds again. West Ham bench there. John Lyle obviously realising the problems that Dalglish could cause them, and he's told Billy Bonds, don't you let him turn anywhere near our box. And at the moment, Bonds is denying that brilliant Scottish international that. Kennedy with a shot. Oh! And a goal by McDermott. The ball was dropped by Parks, and Terry McDermott scores for Liverpool with 17 minutes gone. Phil Parks, I suppose, will blame himself, but McDermott snapping up the opportunity that was offered there for him, and Liverpool have something to cheer, and he hasn't. Well, the shot came in very quickly. It was Ray Kennedy just knocking it in there, and it was Alan Kennedy's shot that Parks couldn't quite hold, and just look what a gift it was for McDermott. So 17 minutes gone, Liverpool in the lead. and Terry McDermott the scorer. 16 goals for Liverpool last season and 2 in this Charity Shield. It's becoming a habit for him. It's he who's now put Liverpool into the league. Brooking, Pike. Out of play. Feel a little sorry for Phil Parkes. I feel a bit sorry for him. He had a tremendous season last season and had some great games in cup ties. And in fact, West Ham had their best goals against record since 1924 last season, and a lot of it was down to him. And now Souness. Alan Kennedy. Johnson. And there goes for the corner. So as Liverpool push their big men forward, amongst them Alan Hansen and Ray Kennedy here. Corner taken by Dalglish. Oh, and Souness was so close with that one. Really caught West Ham out. The corner was played that much wider by Kenny Dalglish. And Souness caught them out, but was just off target. Kennedy, and that time Parkes is down quickly. That's a couple of good breaks that Alan Kennedy's made, and the first of them of course led to the goal when it was his shot that Parkes couldn't hold. Brush. Given away again to Souness. That's a dangerous thing to do in that sort of area. And here's Dalglish, and there are 4 Liverpool men up. Dalglish playing it on for McDermott. Back again for Kenny. Dalglish just over the top. Well, a bit of venom there about Liverpool, and that was nearly making West Ham pay for their mistake. They gave the ball away. And Dalglish with a shot curling, as you can see there, but too high. Perhaps quite as spectacular at the moment as Joe Mercer, for one, would like to have seen it. But here's Paul Allen for West Ham. Stewart wanting the ball played forward. That was a nice little chip by Allen, incidentally, and West Ham giving the ball away again, though. They've done that several times in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And now McDermott finding Jimmy Case as Liverpool come forward in strength again with David Johnson on the far side, turning it in there, and Alan Hansen was right in there, almost to provide the finishing touch. Another example there of men from the back getting forward quickly for Liverpool. Kennedy now chipping it in there. Hansen's header, Ray Kennedy, and Billy Bonds with a chance to thread his way clear. Finds Brooking, and now Pike. Free kick. Liverpool perhaps a little unfortunate. But I would think First Division managers watching this tonight will say, well, we got a few problems with Liverpool again this season, as if they didn't know it already. Brooking, though. Holland, he's kept it in. Played again for Trevor Brooking. Now cross. It'll come for Paul Allen, and it's given away again, this time to Phil Thompson. And here comes another Liverpool break. And an offside against Kenny Dalglish. Former West Ham manager Ron Greenwood there, enjoying a bit of the sunshine and none of the pressure at the moment for Ron, the England manager, of course. Dermot held back by Brush. Free kick. The last couple of minutes of the first half now, and Liverpool looking to increase that 1-goal lead given them by Terry McDermott after 17 minutes. Case to McDermott. Souness. Neil. Dalglish. Bonds right there with him again. Sliding it out here for McDermott to hit a curler there towards Ray Kennedy at the far side. Neil with the shot. Goal kick. Devonshire for West Ham. Cross. Bonds. Cross. Here's Souness. And that's going to be for Phil Parks. Allen playing that ball nicely from cross, but then it's here with Phil Thompson again for Liverpool. And West Ham, apart from that one moment when Jeff Pike pulled the ball back from the byline and Liverpool had a bit of trouble getting it away, it's the only time West Ham have ever looked in a scoring position in this first half. First half dominated by Liverpool's calm, professional play. It hasn't been spectacular, but Liverpool already looking pretty awesome in the way they've set about this task here at Wembley today. And Phil Parks, it was a difficult shot, certainly, coming quickly at him from Alan Kennedy, but he lost it for that moment, and Terry McDermott, number 10, was there to rifle it in from no range at all to put Liverpool in the lead after 17 minutes. So as the managers go off, there's John Lyle on the left leading the West Ham charge there, with a fair bit of talking to do. Wondering whether Trevor Brooking can turn it, of course, for West Ham in the second half. We'll be back with a second half, and that comes up after this short break. Welcome back to Wembley then, at the start of the second half of this FA Charity Shield. Liverpool leading by 1-0, scored by Terry McDermott after 17 minutes. Just waiting for referee John Hunting to get the second half underway. His last engagement, incidentally, in the summer was a World Cup match in Nigeria against Tunisia. Well, it's West Ham now, attacking the goal to our right and needing somehow to unlock the handcuffs that Liverpool have put on them in the first half. First half dominated by the calm, professional approach of Liverpool, and West Ham really hardly in it. Ray Kennedy playing it back to Ray Clements. And now Neil. Liverpool, who start the season in earnest in the league next week, at home to Crystal Palace. West Ham at home to Luton. Here's Souness for Liverpool, for Kenny Dalglish. Turned back there as McDermott was arriving just a little too late, as it happens. But a throw for Liverpool again. Well, I should think Bob Paisley had less to say to his men than John Lyle must have had to say to his. Stewart. Played in this time for Cross. Kennedy, oh, this will let Hansen in. Dalglish is up there with him. And McDermott is right in there as well, but Bonds again to the rescue of West Ham, and he almost got him back into trouble there until he gave away the corner. But a great breakthrough again by Terry McDermott. And a corner again for Liverpool, who continue to have the better of things, but still lead by this solitary goal. Alan Kennedy, that's got to be Phil Parks. Again, they thought it was going out, and that's the second time in this game when the West Ham defence have assumed the ball was going out of play, and my word, they were very nearly punished for it then. That could so easily have been the second goal for them. As the throw is taken for Liverpool, we just have time quickly to look at this one again. And Phil Parks plunging at the feet there, and Brush eventually getting it away. But against a team like Liverpool, you do get punished for assuming things like that. Kennedy's shot, well wide, goal kick. Holland. Bonds. Ray Kennedy to Graham Souness. Swept wide here again towards Jimmy Case. Phil Neal getting it away. Devonshire might have let McDermott in. They thought about a penalty there, but the referee didn't want to know, and in the end David Johnson hits it way over the top. But as McDermott went scorching into that West Ham penalty area, the cries went up for a penalty, but the referee said no. Allen. McDermott. Case taking it nicely in his stride. The cross coming in, and Ray Stewart getting it away. Ray Kennedy now to Kenny Dalglish. This looks dangerous. Oh, Liverpool really playing with West Ham, and it just goes wide by Ray Kennedy. Oh, but what a brilliant piece of football, with Liverpool combining superbly with great simplicity and leaving West Ham absolutely in their wake. Jimmy Case with the cross there, nodded out there in the first place by Stewart. And just look at this combination here until Ray Kennedy puts it wide. McDermott on the break again, but Bonds will cut him out. Well, he got a marvellous game again, Terry McDermott. You wouldn't have thought his break had been a matter of a few days and not much more between England's affairs in Italy and reporting back for training. It's with Stewart. Brooking, but not aware behind him that David Johnson was coming in fast. And here's Alan Hansen for Liverpool. They're picking up the pace a little bit now, Liverpool, as Johnson takes it up and finds Dalglish. Played in again first time, simply but accurately here for Alan Hansen. Going all the way, Hansen, and then plays it wide there for McDermott to hit another one that's wide of the goal. But again, Liverpool coming along and carving great swathes through the West Ham defence. But at the moment, their finishing touches deserting them. But now a break by Paul Allen. Holland. Inside for Brooking, and West Ham have got a few up now. And on the far side is Alan Devonshire coming in there with a header across there. Clements really stretched, cross with the overhead. The best break of the match for West Ham without any question at all. With Paul Allen in the first place having made a lot of the running. Brooking with the deep cross having looked up and spotted Alan Devonshire on the far side. Devonshire a good header in there. Clements really stretching and cross with the overhead that was wide. Now the searching one to McDermott, catches him on the back of the heel. A little lucky there, it comes to Case. Goal kick. Push forward a little bit, West Ham, but there's still 25 minutes to go. And although they've been dominated by Liverpool, you still have to say all the time it's only 1-0. You've still got something of a chance, but here's Kennedy now. Maybe it'll be 2-0 across the face of that goal and then pushed behind by Paul Rush. For a corner to Liverpool. So Liverpool's corner. Case with it. Brooking's header. It'll come for McDermott. But Allen had closed him down a little too quickly. Here's Case again. Almost in that corner position once more. And that time Martin got it away. Here's David Johnson for Liverpool. Played inside again for Ray Kennedy. The lazy left foot shot way over that crossbar. Goal kick. Still worth repeating, though, that Phil Parkes has made that one serious mistake that has cost a goal and has virtually been unemployed in terms of making serious saves ever since. In spite of the tremendous running of Terry McDermott and the formidable appearance that Liverpool have given all afternoon. Stewart. Sending Kennedy back. Getting his instructions from John Lyle. So 20 minutes to go, and Liverpool still leading 1-0. Billy Bonds on the ball again for West Ham. Holland, cut out by Thompson. And now Brooking. Played there nicely for Devonshire. Oh! Clements was there in the nick of time, and West Ham were almost in. Lovely ball by Brooking and a great run by Devonshire. And a brave piece of keeping, as it happens, from Ray Clements as well. Played in there almost casually by Trevor Brooking. And Devonshire couldn't quite get there in time. West Ham about to try to make their substitution. It was the man who was on the ball then, Jeff Pike, number 11, as you can see there, who's going to come off. Now, there's a chance for Stewart. No, there's not, because again, Clements is called into action. That's twice in a minute, and I don't think Ray's too happy about that. Hansen, Souness, one Kennedy to another, Allen to Ray, back it goes to Allen, Phil Neal to Phil Thompson. Case adjusting his position nicely there, but then hitting the ball against Brush, and here's Devonshire again for West Ham. And he runs superbly with the ball, Devonshire, and we've seen so little of that this afternoon so far. But here's Holland, also doing it well. A little flick through here for Devonshire, played on again for Holland, but the flag is up for offside. And Pat Holland just caught offside, and Devonshire coming a little bit more into the picture in these last few minutes, it seems. Made one or two good breaks. The substitution is now being made as Jeff Pike trots off and Nicky Morgan, the young striker, comes on. Certainly Billy Bonds yet again has given everything to West Ham this afternoon. His side are still this goal down with just over a quarter of an hour left. But here's Devonshire again for West Ham. Stopped that time by Phil Neal, and stopped very well indeed. Finding McDermott. Johnson. Souness. Ray Kennedy. It was Paul Allen who got that header away. Souness, though, challenged there by Nicky Morgan. McDermott finding Case. Now Phil Neal. Now Terry McDermott. And Kennedy's pass, not quite enough weight on it. And here's Brooking taking that pass from Bonds. And here's Morgan onside. Kennedy getting back very quickly indeed, though. Brooking. Oh, what a lovely ball there, played for cross. A great save there, but the ball is knocked behind. The flag was up for an offside in any case against David Cross. But you can't deny that was again an acrobatic piece of keeping by Ray Clements. And what a pass here by Brooking. Almost without looking, he knew and sensed that Cross was there. Cross hit it first time. Good reaction save there, punching it up in the air by Clements. But by now the linesman's flag was up for offside. So again, you get that feeling that if West Ham could just put something together, Brooking uppermost, of course, in those thoughts, then this game might not yet be lost for West Ham. But as it is, it's Dalglish once more coming forward for Liverpool, finding a case. Neil. And they've been the better side, there's no question of that, except they just haven't put all this great superiority into goals that really matter. Stewart. Holland. Brush. Morgan, nice little touch there, finding Brooking, and what lovely skills by Brooking. That was beautiful. Finding Holland. And Morgan fractionally offside as Clements comes out again, but they are making a few breaks now, West Ham. That was a real hairline decision there. The linesman directly in line, though, no argument with that. Dalglish playing it in again, but that's Phil Parks' ball. Bonds. And now Devonshire. Played there for Stewart. Is this the telling counter thrust now by West Ham? Oh, Brooking has gone past Kennedy. That's a lovely cross by him. David Cross on the far side. West Ham complained that Cross was unfairly dealt with there, but the referee spread his arms wide. That's a West Ham throw. Well, West Ham were looking for a penalty, but John Hunting didn't even give it a second thought. Morgan again for West Ham. Devonshire played in for Stewart. Lobbed in there towards Paul Allen, and Ray Clements dummies them all and lets the ball go across for the goal kick. It looks as though Liverpool are going to mark the start of a new season with a victory at Wembley. As the final whistle goes, Terry McDermott's goal brings victory for Liverpool, a smile and a handshake from their manager. And the season hasn't exactly got off with a bang after today's performance in difficult conditions, in great humidity there. But certainly the power and the professionalism of Liverpool is there for all to see. West Ham certainly felt it. And I suppose the consolation that West Ham get out of this is that they played well enough to feel that nobody is really going to rip them apart this season, with a side that battled away, particularly in the second half, and looked for one or two breaks that might just pull the game back level their way. So Liverpool go up the steps to collect the Charity Shield. And that's not the easiest of climbs after 90 hard minutes in the humidity and sunshine. But there's a happy smile from Phil Thompson, his chairman John Smith there, and from Joe Mercer, a great Evertonian. The Charity Shield goes to Liverpool. So Liverpool are back on the warpath.